الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك.
في المدينة
محمد نبينا بنور هدينا محمد نبينا بنور هدينا.
Pilgrims will in a few days' time converge on the plains of Mount Arafat in fulfillment of the major pillar of the Hajj. Nigerian pilgrims alongside their counterparts from other parts of the world are therefore anxiously looking forward to the movement, which will begin with a trip to Medina. Some Nigerian pilgrims bear their minds on this all-important Hajj rite in Medina while preparing to leave for Mecca, where the whole Hajj rites are performed.
I'm very deep in expectation to perform the Arafat, and I'll be very grateful to Almighty Allah if you make it possible for me. I pray He's going to make it possible.
I am hoping that those ones that I saw, that God made it easy for me, the going to Arafat will be more easier, inshallah.
I'm very, very excited, but we are waiting for that day, because that day is a great day that all the pilgrims are waiting for.
Staying at the plains of the Arafat is one of the 4 pillars of Hajj. Pilgrims stay there from sunrise to sunset for supplication and offering prayers while seeking Allah's forgiveness. This will be on Thursday, after which the Muslim world will observe Eid al-Kabir, the next day being Friday. Saudi Arabia has apologized to Nigeria for the maltreatment of 2 Nigerian pilgrims by custom officers at the King Abdulaziz International Airport, Medina. When the incident occurred, the NAHCON MENA coordinator, Dr. Bello Tambuwal, petitioned the Saudi government through Nigeria's embassy, and they quickly took action. The Medina governor, represented by his deputy, Ambassador Wahid Al-Sihli, along with the deputy minister in charge of Hajj and Umrah, visited the affected Nigerian pilgrims in their hotel at Markaziyya. They were received by Nigerian Charter Affairs Ambassador Umar Salisu. They discussed behind closed doors, after which they briefed journalists through an interpreter.
ونؤكد أن المملكة تعنى بضيوف الرحمن بأعلى المستويات بتوجيهات من خادم الحرمين الشريفين.
What brought us together today is on the issue of the 2 pilgrims that suffered some maltreatment somehow, and we would like to assure you that we are here to say sorry, to express our regret over the incidents, and to assure you that such things will not happen. And the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will never tolerate this kind of disgrace on the part of pilgrims, and we shall continue to take measures to ensure that all those that have participated in this are brought to book.
Nigerian Charter Affairs Ambassador Umar Salisu was delighted with the actions taken by Saudi authority, urging Nigerian pilgrims to continue to be good ambassadors of the country.
We really appreciate the actions taken by the Saudi authorities in order to bring those people to book, and then continue to allow Nigerians to continue, and other pilgrims, of course, to continue to perform their rites, Hajj rites, without any fear, without any molestation, without any maltreatment.
Officials of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, have embarked on the inspection of the premises of food contractors engaged by the Commission to provide food to Nigerian pilgrims. The aim is to determine if they are complying with the terms of contract agreement. Members of NAHCON Feeding Committee visited the contractors in both Mecca and Medina. While in Medina, the committee members led by Al-Hajj Ahmed Sani visited the 3 companies engaged by NAHCON. The companies are Al-Jabir Subsistence and Catering Services, Al-Andalus and Hydra Kitchen. During the visit, members took note of the environment where the meals are prepared, timetable for food delivery to pilgrims, and expiry date for the food supplied. Speaking after the inspection tour, Alhaji Ahmed Sani said the committee took note of many things which he said will form part of its report to the Commission.
Before we came here, we took samples of opinion from pilgrims, which also we came to use as a control. And we understood a lot of their challenges with respect to information and communication on timely basis. We also understood some of their challenges with respect to strict adherence to contractual agreements in the case of flow of pilgrims in and out of Mecca. We also understood some of their challenges with the logistics and everything, which we will go and put as part of our report.
In the meantime, several thousands of pilgrims were airlifted within the past couple of days as part of efforts by NAHCON to ensure that all intending pilgrims from Nigeria make it to the Holy Land before the deadline fixed by Saudi authorities for the completion of airlift operations. Adamawa State pilgrims were among this batch to be airlifted, and on ground to bid them farewell was the governor of the state, Muhammadu Jibrila Bindowo. He urged the pilgrims to be law-abiding as well as respect the rules and regulations of Saudi Arabia. In this way, he said they will make the state and the nation proud.
Ina so in dauki wannan dama yi muku albishir. Allah da ya zabe ku, Allah ubangiji ya kai ku lafiya. Idan kun je kasan sarki kasan Saudi Arabia, don Allah, don Annabi, a bi dokokin kasan Larabawa nan. Domin dokokinsu ba kamar namu bane. Babu lawyer, in kai laifi kawai za a kama ka, za a tafi da kai ne.
Also speaking at the occasion, the Lamido of Adamawa, Dr. Muhammad Ali Mustafa Barkindo, talked about the place of Hajj in Islam and urged the pilgrims to observe all the rites of the pilgrimage in order to have a successful Hajj. Speaking in the same vein was the Speaker of the Adamawa State House of Assembly, who is also the State Amirul Hajj, Kabiru Mijinyawa. He appreciated the state governor for providing the necessary support to facilitate the airlift of intending pilgrims from the state. He pledged to make the 2017 Hajj a memorable one for Adamawa State pilgrims.
I want to assure you, the Executive Governor, that this year Hajj will be first of its kind. It will be one of the best Hajj, inshallah.
Religious preachers were also on ground to remind the pilgrims about the do's and don'ts in the Holy Land, urging them to take every aspect of the Hajj rites very seriously. The Kaduna State Pilgrims Welfare Board has assured all Kaduna State pilgrims that they will be airlifted before the closure of the Jeddah airspace. The assurance was given by the overseer of the State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Imam Hussein Suleiman Ohu, when he gave an update of the airlift of pilgrims from Kaduna State.
We had 17 flights so far. From the 1st of this month to the 21st of the month, we had 17 flights, in which a total of 6,205 pilgrims were airlifted from Kaduna International Airport to Saudi Arabia. We registered 6,746 intending pilgrims, those that paid the Hajj fare fully. 6,205 are already there, so I am having 541 that were left behind, and inshallah within the weekend to come, inshallah we'll finish the airlift completely.
Imam Suleiman Ohu explained that initial challenges related to visa acquisition were overcome, paving way for a smooth airlift exercise. He added that the screening of pilgrims did not detect anyone with intention to travel with hard drugs. 2 women were however discovered to be pregnant and sent back home. Imam Hussein Suleiman Tsoho then called on pilgrims to be law-abiding and avoid any act that will affect their acts of ibadah while in the Holy Land.
I want all the pilgrims from Kaduna State to note that they are there to seek for Allah's mercy and the heaven. It is better for one to be up and doing. They should be doing what they are there for. The mission of any intending pilgrims is to gain the reward that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, the reward of good Hajj is Jannah.
The central theme, which ran through speeches by dignitaries during the ceremony marking the inaugural flight of the 2017 Hajj, was the call on Nigerian pilgrims to be good ambassadors of the country while in Saudi Arabia. There are indications that Nigerian pilgrims are heeding to the advice, thereby making the nation proud. So far, no Nigerian pilgrim has been involved in any act of misconduct or breach of Saudi laws. This is largely as a result of the effort of officials and preachers who kept reminding the pilgrims of the reasons why they are in the Holy Land. This is a section of Markazia Hotel in Medina, where Sokoto State pilgrims are being accommodated. Oftentimes, they take time out to listen to preachings and talks on various aspects of the Hajj and how to conduct themselves. Sheikh Yusuf Yahya Alibawa is in charge and says the forum affords the pilgrims the opportunity to ask questions and seek clarifications on matters they don't understand.
Wannan shi zai ƙara mana ƙarfin gwiwa ko gobe muke da hali mu sake dawowa ko mu ta samu wani gida na alhazai za mu yi musu bayani insha Allah.
In addition to this, officials of the Nigerian Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON visit pilgrims in their hotels. First, to see firsthand their condition and then advise them on issues relating to their stay in Saudi Arabia. Dr. Muhammad Bello Tambuwal is the Medina coordinator for the 2017 Hajj. During a visit to FCT pilgrims, he urged them to be orderly when collecting their meals and also talk about the quality of the food they are being served. These are pilgrims from Kaduna State collecting their meals during dinner. An arrangement is worked out amongst them through delegation. Each room delegates a person to collect meals on behalf of the rest. Such a person must, however, be given a coupon as evidence, making the process transparent, orderly, and ensuring that no one is left out. This appears to be the practice with pilgrims from other states such as Kwara, Lagos, Ogun, Kaduna, and Nasarawa, among others. What is also noticeable about Nigerian pilgrims is their adherence to rules laid out by the management of their respective hotels. This includes maintaining good sanitary condition as well as making good use of elevators, public conveniences, and other facilities. Nigerian pilgrims also exhibit high level of discipline during movement from Medina to Mecca. They quietly take turns to board the buses after confirming that their names are on the list of those boarding a particular bus. At the NAHCON clinics in both Mecca and Medina, the story is the same. The pilgrims queue up and wait patiently to take turns for medical services. At their free time, they also go for shopping, usually in groups and in an orderly manner. Al-Hajj Abdulaziz Aduagba and Al-Hajj Abdulrazak Muhammad are officials from Kwara and Nasarawa states. They describe the conduct of Nigerian pilgrims in Saudi Arabia as positive.
They are law-abiding and they are following the rule and regulations according to the enlightenment that they've got before their arrival to Saudi Arabia. They conduct themselves very well and they behave very well. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
As you can see, our officials are always on ground. They do visit them one after the other. In terms of accommodations, our officials are always around. If they have any complaint, our officials are already around. So they live very comfortable for the period of 8 days. And for now, as they are about to move to Mecca, I can say none of our pilgrims is found guilty of anything.
The acting director of the FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Al-Hajj Shehu Abubakar, says patience and orderliness is key to having a successful Hajj.
Hajj exercise, whether one likes it or not, you just have to be patient if you want to be successful. So we often preach them, tell them they should be patient, and that you should listen to the instructors.
The pilgrims also used the opportunity to pray for President Muhammadu Buhari and wish the country peace, unity and economic prosperity.
My prayer for Nigeria will be I will see it from two angles. The Nigeria government, and that is starting from the head of the state, General Muhammadu Buhari, retired. We thank God that he's okay now. He's been discharged from hospital from London, and I believe such will not relapse again and will maintain a very good and sound health.
Shugabanni Allah ya saka musu da alheri, Allah ya saka musu da alheri, ba abin da zamu ce sai dai godiya ga Allah madaukakin sarki mai rahama mai jin kai.
حبيبي نور سطع في المدينة محمد نبينا بنور هدينا
Muzdalifah is another expansive area about 8 km north of Arafah. The plains of Muzdalifah is a transit point between Arafah and Muna, where pilgrims have to spend the night resting from the sunset of the 9th to the sunrise of the 10th of Zulhijjah. The journey to Muzdalifah starts right at the end of the standing on the Arafah plains on the 9th of Zulhijjah. Malam Hidr Abdullahi Maraya explains more about the stay in Muzdalifah.
Muzdalifah is a very significant place as far as the conduct of Hajj is concerned. Muzdalifah is a place where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it possible for our ancestral parents, Adam and Eve. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to show mercy upon both of them to meet after they had been descended from the paradise.
Just like the standing at the Arafah plains, there are also some rites that the pilgrim needs to comply with. This include, among others, leaving Arafah for Muzdalifah in an orderly manner, combining the prayers of Maghrib and Isha with Isha being shortened in form of Qasr, relaxing through the night preparatory to the pelting of Jamrat al-Akbar, praying Salat al-Subuh at the appearance of Al-Fajr. Malam Hidr highlights other duties a pilgrim needs to perform as a priority on arrival at Muzdalifah.
On arrival at Muzdalifah, the intending pilgrims are expected to establish the Maghrib prayer and subsequently to establish the Isha prayer. But the Isha prayer is expected to be shortened. That means the intending pilgrims are only expected to establish 2 units of prayer at Muzdalifah. After that, they are expected to have a sound sleep for resting.
Buttressing further the significance of Muzdalifah, the Islamic scholar said a pilgrim failure to attend Muzdalifah will require atonement.
If an intending pilgrim does not go to Muzdalifah, definitely he is going to atone that by making a sacrifice of a sheep inter alia. So that is why you'll notice that Muzdalifah is a very important place. Being there is a very significant right among the rights of Hajj.
The religion of Islam has also given the pilgrim an option in the event that the pilgrim is running out of time before reaching Muzdalifah.
In the event an intending pilgrims establishes the Maghrib prayer on their way to Muzdalifah or at Arafah, because they have been ferried to Muzdalifah in buses and in batches. If some intending pilgrims decide to establish the Maghrib prayer because they have now realized that it is getting very, very late into the night hours, their Maghrib prayer is definitely going to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but preferably they are expected to exercise patience till they arrive at Muzdalifah, no matter the late hours in the night, because coming to the Muzdalifah is late is not intentional.
Having established the rites at Muzdalifah, the pilgrim then moves to Muna at the break of dawn of the 10th of Dhul Hijjah for the pelting of the Jamrah.
One is not expected to leave Muzdalifah until one establishes the morning prayer, that is the subh prayer. Then at the tail end of sun rising, one now is expected to leave Muzdalifah for Mina, where the intending pilgrims are expected to pelt the Jamrah on the 10th of Zulhijjah. And the Jamrah that is going to be pelted on that very day is the maximum Jamrah, or I can call it the biggest Jamrah, Jamratul Aqaba.
On this blessed day, the pilgrims have about 4 important things to engage themselves in. According to ulama, these important things will include pelting of the Jamratul Akbar, slaughtering of the sacrificial animal, shaving off or trimming the hair, and performing the Dawaf al-Ifada. However, Malam Khidir Maraya advised the pilgrims to adhere to the timetable given by the Saudi authorities for movement when it comes to the pelting of the Jamrah. Now that the pilgrims have reached the biggest Jamrah, how does he pelt the Jamrah? Malam Khidir gives the basics of the pelting of the Jamrat al-Akbar.
The intending pilgrims are expected to use only 7 stones or 7 pebbles on the 10th of Zulhijjah, because on the 10th of Zulhijjah only the biggest Jamrah, the biggest pillar, is expected to be pelted with 7 pebbles by the intending pilgrims. That is what they are expected to do on that day as far as pelting of pillars is concerned. One now has conducted the 4 rites on the 10th day of Zulhijjah. Then what remains now is for one to remain at the tent in Mina on the 11th day and also on the 12th day. Then one optionally can stay at Mina up to the 13th day of Zulhijjah. On the 11th day of Zulhijjah, while in Mina, the intending pilgrims are mainly expected to be pelting the 3 pillars, Al-Jamratul Sugura, Al-Jamratul Wusta, and Al-Jamratul Aqaba, using 21 pebbles on each day.
On what sort of supplications the pilgrims should uphold after pelting the Jamrat al-Akbar?
Afterwards, one is expected to come back to their tents. While in the tents at Mina, the intending pilgrims are expected to behave very, very well. Their behavior is very, very important. They are expected to dedicate themselves to the Quranic recitation, to the supplications to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to seeking Allah's forgiveness, to doing conversation that will definitely benefit humanity, to dedicate themselves to numerous supplications with a view to imploring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the best in this world and also for the best in the eternal life.
On our feedback segment this week, Nigerian pilgrims talk about their experiences in Medina shortly before departing for Mecca for the commencement of Hajj rites. So far so good, they said, and if nothing else, they have expanded their frontiers of friendship.
NAHCON, I commend them for our accommodation. Everything is okay. We're taking food, day and morning, so everything is okay.
The pilgrims that were here, everything is moving comfortable. And we thank our government that brought us here. Whatever that they will bring problem to us, they will come to us and attend us.
We from Kaduna State, we are accommodated very close to the Prophet Mosque. I hope and wish when we get to Medina, Mecca, inshallah, we will be close to the Kaaba at the same time.
إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا